Hey, how's it going? Drosy here. So since the start of Shadowlands, every single priest has been going Venthyr, who plays PvP, of course, to get mind games. It's kind of been assumed to be the best the whole time, even though there's been really big buffs to Night Fae in 9.0.5. Now, don't get me wrong, like mind games is insane, right? Mind games is so good. It's probably one of the best covenant abilities for all classes out there, not just priest. But I have started to hear some really good disc players talk about going Night Fae. As a disclaimer, only for RBGs though, okay? Only for RBGs. For Arena, I think Mind Games is still going to be so important for the kill pressure. But in RBGs though, disc priests have kind of different priorities than they do in Arena. I'm going to talk about what those priorities really are and how Night Fae actually is really beneficial for those. So the first thing I want to talk about is PO mobility, right? For healers, especially in RBGs, like being able to peel to bases really quickly and rotate is so important in RBG. It's one of the most important things you can do. If you're ever outnumbered in a base where you need to win, it's a really big deal if you don't get there. Even a couple of seconds faster, it could swing the whole entire game, right? You lose a base because you couldn't get your healer there or something. Soul Shape obviously is really useful for that. Like it's such a big movement speed increase, like 50% for 15 seconds, and you get like 3 or 4 blinks. Compared to something like Door Shadows. Door Shadows obviously is good for peeling as well. The only issue is like if you're playing against a good team, you know that when you're trying to peel out and they're trying to stop you, you're gonna get kicked every single time on that cast, and you're not gonna be able to Door Shadows out, and just gonna be slowed up. Soul Shape obviously instant cast, so you can't stop it. You can instantly just, middle of a fight, you just blink out of range of them and then start running away with the movement speed boost. And with the second blink, you're probably far enough away to get mounted up. It's really noticeable on a map like Deepwind Gorge or something where like every little bit of speed and rotation ability helps so much in winning the games there. Next, I want to look at team comps. So in RPG, of course, you have 6 DPS players, a lot more than you have in Arena. And what that means is like if your 6 DPS players are good and able to coordinate properly with each other, like they're gonna get kills. There's no way you're not gonna get kills with 6 DPS, right? And because there's so much damage going out in RPG team fights, the healers oftentimes have to focus so much more on actually healing, of course, and the spells and CCs and defensives instead of trying to pump out damage and secure kills. If you're able to trust your DPS players in your team, then FAE Guardians is quite a good 2-for-1 here, where you have your 20% wall for 20 seconds, which is really massive. It's like 3 Iron Barks back to back, basically. Of course, you can move it around to different players. So like on a team fight where whoever's getting focused, you put it up, it's gonna be really massive, and you give the cooldown reduction to somebody, whoever is your biggest damage dealer, whoever needs it, and they can get their cooldowns faster, which, yeah, you trade off your mind games kill potential, but in a way you give that back to your DPS, right? Which, like, they're the ones who are supposed to be killing players anyways. All right, the final point I want to talk about, and in my opinion, the most important point and what makes Night Fae actually really strong for disc RBGs is, of course, mana retention. I've noticed that in my higher rated games, when you have 2 really good teams playing against each other, it almost always comes down to healer mana, right? Whoever ooms first and isn't able to get a drink is going to lose a team fight. Just because with 3 healers out who are really good at cross dispels, it's really hard to get a kill on the enemy players when they have mana. And Mind Games, of course, Mind Games does give mana, right? But only on the portion of it that reflects healing and damage. And from what I've experienced in my games, like Mind Games is insta dispelled every single time, right? It's like super high priority, and I do it as well. I dispel Mind Games the moment I see it. So almost never do I get any mana back from Mind Games. I get so little back, like compared to Night Fae, where I'm gonna show you actually a real quick demo of it. But Night Fae gives you a ton of mana. You basically just use FAE Guardians off cooldown, 1.5 minutes, and I'm able to basically sustain my mana much longer than others in team fights. So real quick here, let me just burn up some of my mana. It's taking a long time. Maybe I power infuse myself to burn faster. Alright, so I have like 50% mana here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for power infuse to go away. So I'm at 45% mana. When I hit 50, I'm gonna hit FAE Guardians on this dummy here. I'm gonna see how much mana I can get back from this. Just casting my regular stuff, right? Like this is what I'd cast normally on a fight anyways. If I've nothing to cast, I'd just be mind gamesing. Maybe I hit up, you know, Shadow of Death in there. And this whole time, right, I'm casting styles. Like this is my atonement healing, right? Anyways, so stuff I'll be casting anyways. And stop here. So at about 60% mana, my blast at the end didn't get caught by the FAE Guardians. But this whole time, I was pumping out healing, right? Pumping out what I would normally be casting. But I actually gained 10% mana from that. So in like a 3-minute fight, team fight, you get to cast FAE Guardians twice. So assuming that you cast it off cooldown and you're able to actually get value out of it through Atonement, you're getting about 20% of your mana back in one 3-minute fight. Longer than that is 30%, and like that's almost like a drink's worth, right? Like usually you don't get full drinks anyways because you get interrupted. That's really, really huge. And of course, during that time, you still get the other benefits of FAE Guardians, like cooldown reduction on your DPS and the 20% wall, right, on targets who are being killed. And yeah, FAE Guardians, you can't be dispelled, you can't be stopped in any way, can't be purged. So you're always going to get the value out of it. Whereas for mind games, once you start playing against good healers, you're just never going to get anything back out of it. Like only initial damage basically ever hits from mind games. And you know, just with this small benefit, right, of the mana, right? Like when you have more mana than opponent Disc Priest who are running Venthyr, even like by a small amount, it makes a big difference. Like you can really swing the entire team fight if you have more mana and you run out, you outlast the other priests in the big team fight. Oh, this is the Soulbind tree I'm running with, by the way. So yeah, I'm not even high enough renown yet. I just switched recently, haven't done enough stuff to get the renown. But yeah, this is the tree I would be running with, right? With obviously with this ability here. Paw Tender is kind of crap, honestly. Like sometimes you can surprise people because they don't expect priests to have Night Fae. But vast majority of the time it just does nothing. It's okay. I have the Grip Legendary, the Grip Conduit, and the Dispel Magic. These two are great. I only get one Potent Conduit here, just because Soothing Voice doesn't do anything for Priest. But really all we need is Radiance anyways. The other potencies are like kind of whatever for Priest. This ability here, Empowered Chrysalis, is pretty massive. With Atonement, right? You always get a lot of overhealing, and overall in a match this might contribute like almost like 8 to 10% of my total healing. So it's quite a big boost. Give me shields, everybody. We have 1 endurance, just pick whatever. They're all pretty good. This doesn't matter. And then the last here, the last Soulbind ability here is pretty damn good. I mean, 12% haste for 15 seconds. So like you're using FAE Guardian's cooldown, and when you use it, that's when you want to pump out spells to get more mana back. This is going to help a lot with that. It's going to be quite useful. And Priest, you don't need to move that much anyways. You're not that mobile of a class. For example of a good use of Soul Shape here is that you see we just won the fight at Lava, so we're going to go peel off and try to retake mid. Most of our team is not there yet, and it's a really long distance to get there, right? It's quite far away. The whole team would be trying to stop you and stuff. This is where like Soul Shape comes in handy, where you know you see you get the move speed bonus, right? And lasts for so long, along with your blinks, so you can dodge these roots and everything, and you can really get deep into the cart and play this objective here. And actually this was a big turning point for our team because we need everybody in this card, as you even know. We're just barely turning it. So getting in there just a couple seconds earlier, position yourself at the front so you don't get further slowed out, makes a huge difference. Here's another great example of using Soul Shape. See, there's a big fight at mid, but we get the call that we need to peel out to defend our base. It's being hit. So immediately I can turn around and Soul Shape out of there. You know, like, and with the move speed bonus, it's like huge, right? Like I can get to the base so much faster than if I were Venthyr. And also it's like, the benefit is like, because it's instant cast, you can actually use it in the middle of a fight, right? So you see I get here, able to save my Druid and make sure this base is safe here. So this here is a great example of using FAE Guardians. You see that it's just about to come off cooldown from a week or here. Yeah, it just came off cooldown. And I've just used it right away. You see my mana here is really low. I have 15% mana starting going into this. And I'm just playing normally, right? I'm still using all of my damage, my atonements. Yeah, you see right there, I'm still dispelling CCs. Playing completely normally. And at the end of FAE Guardians, let's see how much mana we have left. Yeah, so FAE Guardian ends there, and I have 14% mana. So almost exactly the same as I started with for these 20 whole seconds where I'm just doing all my stuff. I'm casting Radiance, my damage, and my shields, and my dispels, and I still end up with the same amount of mana. So in looking at the big picture of team fights, it makes a really big difference, and you can really swing entire fights this way. So to summarize, I think with Night Fae, you get the benefit of better peeling, right? Better positioning and map control, and you get better mana management. So overall, big improvements on the macro play. Whereas with Venthyr, of course, with mind games, you get the ability to actually kill people, which is really great in small encounters and really great for making big plays and kind of, carrying your DPS. But I think both have their benefits, really. I actually think Venthyr is probably better in the majority of cases. Like, only when you're playing a really high rating with a very organized team where you can trust your DPS is Night Fae actually going to have a lot of value for you. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot from this video. Hopefully you give it a shot, right? Because I think it's worth trying out and getting a feel for it. So let me know how it goes for you. Let me know what you think about going Night Fae for RBGs as disc. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.